Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Hager number 401S-DBA threshold. This is a profile that I believe is unique to Hager. The confluence of the width and the height, along with its fluted top profile, its ball groove type profile, as you can see. It's not ball grooved, it's an extrusion, obviously. But I think this is pretty... I know that this profile is unique to Hager. Others get close, but not exact. Okay. So, what is this? This is a saddle-style threshold. You can see from the profile that they call it a saddle. If you use your imagination, you can kind of see why they might call it a saddle, I suppose. That's just what this is termed. The 401S is representative of the profile of this item, and that profile has some certain dimensional properties to it. Let's go over that now. It's it's 2.5 inch wide, and it's 5/16 tall. Okay. The DBA in the part number means dark bronze anodized. Hager has done a much better job of late of packaging the material very well so as to insulate pieces from scratching each other. And they've also done a pretty good job at, well, we want them to try to do a good job at not setting the material out marginally scratched, as this obviously is. That is a result of the tooling and how it's handled in the shop. It continues to be an area of disappointment when it comes to dark bronze from Hager. And if they want to sell this product, at least to me, voluntarily, where I ask for it, they need to solve that problem. I'm not buying mill. I'm not buying prime. I'm buying a finished product. I don't want scratches on there. And if the client were to reject this, which is of course very likely, I would certainly support such a conclusion. Now, let's move on. Where would you use a small saddle threshold like this? Well, a real common area, and I know where these are going, is to an office environment. An interior application. And that's not unusual because you'll have interior applications that need to insulate sound, the transmission of sound, or the transmission of particulate, dust, debris, things of that nature. And you really can't have an office or a showroom to a shop area where there's machinery running, maybe there's grinding that's happening, things of that nature, without sealing those doors. You open up the front door of the showroom and the back door is open in the summertime. Well, all of that particulate moves. And sealing the door in an interior application, that's where a little threshold like this comes into play. I've also sold this type of threshold to people with Chicago, Northwest Side, the bungalow construction of a home. Basement doors. Someone wants a narrow threshold there because they don't have a lot of space onto which to set a threshold. So something narrow because they need to bring a door sweep. That door sweep needs to mate to a threshold. The door has run long because there may never have been a threshold there, and they don't have a lot of room underneath the door and don't want to pull the door off and rip it down to fit a taller threshold. So you can see it there. Garage doors would be a great example of this. Wherever you're going to use this, good for you. You're going to make a decision based on its dimensional properties, really. Something dark bronze is obviously an aesthetic sort of decision. There is a link below this video to a document called Product Catalog where you will be able to review the 401S and all of Rockwood. Rockwood does not make thresholds. All of Hager's sister products, 2 saddle-type thresholds. Okay, couple of pages there. I would certainly recommend that you look at them. The 436S is and the 418S are sister products to this. Those are smooth top. You might want a smooth top sort of profile for your application. You might have an automatic door bottom mortised and you want that to sit on top of a flat surface. There's also a link to a document called Product Brochure, and I suspect that's basically the same document, and it is. It's just there twice. The second document, the Product Brochure, has an additional page showing some thermal break thresholds. 2 pieces of aluminum that are separated by a rigid thermoplastic material, and and you can literally take that thermal break threshold and move it like this. There's a reason that that's the case. The transmission of or the loss of energy through solid material to a disparate material to another disparate material to two same materials broken up by a disparate material is incredibly effective at sealing exterior doors. Certainly in the cold environment is where you'll see thermal break. And I can attest to the incredibly high performance of thermal break thresholds and other thermal break weather stripping because I've witnessed it firsthand, how incredibly effective it is at keeping the cold out, and in the interior portion it's going to be basically room temperature. That's really advantageous because whether it be an incredibly hot climate in southern Florida like it is here, or an incredibly cold northern climate like Chicago, and it can be, you're going to have condensation that will occur. With that cold hitting the moist, relatively moist air on the inside, and that's going to contribute to the fatigue of finish, to the degradation of the base material. Think steel door, Chicago, rusting, that's going to happen. And it also happens there, and thermal break is really effective at retarding that, actually. So this threshold is listed in the site in lots of different lengths. You can really have any length that you want. It's probably listed from 2 foot to 8 foot. The longer lengths get expensive to ship, so be mindful of that. We'll have to get you a quote. Screws are included. They're going to have a complementary finish on the head. They appear to be about a number 10 by 1.5 inches. If you have need for a custom length, by all means, order the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to, and we'll be happy to oblige. On the camera, on this video, this appears to be lighter than it actually is, depending on how the light hits it. In real life, this is very dark. Some people might argue that this is black. When you hold it up to something that's truly black, like the mat on my desk, which you really can't see, or the structure of this shelf, which is black, this is not black, but it's really close. This would be approaching the absolute darkest spectrum of your bronze finishes, with another manufacturer being at the opposite end of the spectrum. So be mindful, if you're looking for dark bronze that is approaching black, this would suit. If you're looking for something that matches oil rub bronze, a 613 finish, this would not be your first choice, although it would be quite complimentary. If you have need for a custom length, let us know. Order the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field the net length that you would like for us to cut the material back to, and we'll be happy to do so. That will give you the material already cut, even though they don't anodize the ends of that cut piece, because these are probably coming from the mill at 16-foot lengths. But it will give you the proper distance of that dimple from the edge, and then the successive centers down the length of the unit as well. Okay. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Hager products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. The hallmark of Hager, really, in my experience, is their client base is loyal. And I don't mean necessarily their distributors, although I expect their distributors are loyal. The installed end-user base requests Hager, will wait for Hager, wants Hager products. I've sold projects to people where Hager had a 3-week lead time. Client, Hager's 3 weeks on your lock sets. We can offer these as well. What would you like to do? We're going to wait for the Hager. I hear that time and time again. I think as a distributor base, loyalty to Hager is, at least for me, and how it was originally sold, was with Hager, you get basically a one-stop scenario. A single purchase order is going to get you your hinges, your lock sets, your door closers, your weather stripping, your sliding door hardware, obviously your rotons, your electrified hardware. A single PO will equip you with practically everything that you'll need. They sell everything but the door and frame, and I expect that they're probably working on that as well. One note on the link below this video to the manufacturer's page, where you can pull up not only all the Hager products we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to their full product catalog and other subcategory catalogs, is their Hager keying system explained video that I made. Hager has a relatively, they have a interesting keying system, and the science behind it is worth studying. A very interesting way that they've gone about being able to accommodate both interchangeable core and conventional core with a single key blank that's only one length. And while I don't believe they invented the system, and I don't think much of what we deal with today has been invented recently, most hardware was really invented in the 18th century, except for electrified hardware. If you're into locksmithing or keying, you'll hopefully enjoy that video. Any questions on the 401S and a DBA finish or any other Hager product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.